Hey VC, how's it going? Kind of got a lot to talk about in this video, so I'm gonna try to kind of go quickly. But real quick, if you don't know already, I'm still running my 100 subs contest, which is just you show or you talk about your favorite VC channels. Which so far I have 9 entries. I'll just go ahead and list them now. If you don't hear your name in this list, then I haven't seen your entry yet. It's Andy's Vinyl Den, Lisa, David Guerre, Jeff Kempen, Cold Wax Minnesota, Ronnie's Record Room, Tales from the Crate, Chris Kibler, and Jolly Roger have all made videos. Everyone except for Christopher Kibler is entered because he asked not to be, which is admirable. It's it's a pretty cool thing to do, just to kind of spread the love around with talking about his favorite channels. Anyways, the title of this video. Oh, I wasn't done talking about that yet. Get your entries in by the 7th, because I'm gonna record the video on the 8th with drawing the winner and everything. So if you still want to make a video, you still got like a week to do that, which I think is a decent amount of time. Hopefully you can squeeze one out. Yeah. Anyways, this video is gonna be about my cassette collection. Partially because, well, I've been meaning to kind of do this for a while. I think cassettes are really still a viable way of listening to music, especially in my car. It has a tape deck. I have my mom's old Walkman. I've got a tape deck from Goodwill here attached to my stereo, and I've got a lot of cassettes, and they're cheap, which is not the only reason you can get into them. I mean, with vinyl getting more expensive now, or at least harder to find good deals with, cassettes are still a pretty affordable option to buy used music, which again wasn't the only reason you really got into vinyl, but it was a nice perk, and this perk still exists with cassettes for the most part. Most of these I paid, with a few exceptions, I think I'll point out, I paid 50 cents each for like 90% of these. So I'll just go ahead and get into it. Now that I've rambled on long enough, I have one shelf. I need to get a second one, or one of those drawers. It has like 3 pull-out drawers. I just kind of pulled those out. It's got like the wood grain aesthetic to it. I have one shelf of those. I need to get a second one of those because I think I could probably fill like 2.5 maybe. Anyways, everything that's in the shelf is alphabetical. The rest of it is not. So I'll just start with the alphabetical stuff. Alice in Chains, Jar of Flies, EP. Probably my favorite release from Alice in Chains, one of my favorite of the grunge era. Just really solid. I think this came out in like 93, yeah. I've got Brand News, leaked demos from 2006. This came out in like 2015. They finally officially released the leaked demos. The demos to The Devil and God Raging Inside Me. I've got this Kate Bush Greatest Hits comp. It's called The Whole Story. It's everything through, I think through, at least through Hounds of Love. It's got a couple of Hounds of Love tracks on it. I've got this Leonard Cohen here. New skin for the Old Ceremony. I don't own this one on vinyl. I would like to. I think that's his 4th record. The Dead Milkman, Beelzebubba, pretty solid pop punk. You know the song Punk Rock Girl. You probably know Smoking Banana Peels. Just a good sense of humor with this band. Depeche Mode, Violator, classic album. What year did this come out? It doesn't say on the back. Anyways, you know that one. You know all these too. Dylan, Bringing It All Back Home, probably my favorite Dylan album. Probably. It's up there with this one, Highway 61 Revisited. I think I got all these at Josie Records, and this is probably also one of my favorite Dylan, Blonde on Blonde. Got the classic Fleetwood Mac Rumors, the Joy Division, Substance compilation, 77 through 80. Pretty much just singles and B-sides. Got Radioactivity by Kraftwerk, Trans-Europe Express, The Man Machine, and probably my favorite Kraftwerk is Computer World. Great album. Got Morrissey here, Viva Hate. A couple New Order, Movement, first album. My favorite New Order is definitely Power, Corruption, and Lies, US Quest Records. Same thing with this, Low Life, and the Essential Greatest Hits Comp, Substance. Just a great compilation. Really well curated. It doesn't have everything, but it's got all the good stuff, you know. The Wall, Pink Floyd. This was actually my mom's. Pixies, Doolittle. I think I paid probably like $4 or $5 for this one, but you know, great album. And the original pressings are a little bit harder to find. They're not the most expensive things in the world, but you may not find them so easily. I think I talked about these two in my Radiohead video, which just passed 1,000 views, by the way. But I've got their first one, Pablo Honey, which is probably their worst album, and OK Computer. Those I probably paid anywhere. OK Computer, I think I bought online for maybe like $10 shipped, and then Pablo Honey I found in a store in Montreal. It was like $4 or $5 Canadian. A couple of REM here. Murmur, their first one. I think it's their first full length. I think they may have had an EP before that. Out of Time, maybe their most popular one. And Automatic for the People, probably my favorite actually. Also like New Adventures in Hi-Fi. Got some Smiths here, their first self-titled. Meat is Murder, which I ordered online, again, probably like $8 shipped. Queen is Dead, which was my parents'. Strange Ways, which again I got at Josie Records, probably like $5 or so. Louder Than Bombs, also my parents'. I got Goo by Sonic Youth. I'd like to have an original LP of this, but this one I got actually from a local guy, a couple bucks. Talking Heads, True Stories. Not my favorite of theirs, but still cool to have. Good album from the 90s, Third Eye Blind, self-titled. What year is this? 97. Not really a bad track on here. Just solid, like, 90s pop rock, I guess. Alternative rock. Here we got Tiger's Jaws, self-titled. Their second one, Two Worlds. And my favorite of theirs is Charmer, which I have all those LPs. The Toadies, another 90s act from, actually from North Texas. This album's called Rubberneck. It's their famous one, you know. It's got Possum Kingdom, it's got Tyler. The Joshua Tree, U2. I just picked this up on LP last week. The World's a Beautiful Place, and I Am No Longer Afraid to Die, Whenever If Ever. I've talked about this video before. The LP has different artwork, but Cassette's actually pretty cool looking. It's clear. It's got this kind of red, inked on kind of design. Pretty neat. And actually, probably one of my most played cassettes is in here, for good reason. It's a double Neil Young release with After the Gold Rush and Harvest. You know, it's one cassette with an album on each side. I listen to that one all the time in my car. That's all that's in my shelf. I've still got a huge stack here that don't fit in that. Giant Steps by Coltrane. One of my favorite Coltrane albums. I mean, the title track is just spectacular. Foxing, The Albatross. Good emo revival, kind of post-rock influence act. They're on Triple Crown, which is a great label. Another good label here is Near Mint Records. They have this band, The Obsessives, or they had this with this release. It's called Heck No Nancy. Again, just kind of emo revival, indie rock on a kind of cool, clear with glitter cassette. It's kind of interesting. Well, I think Foxing, yeah, it's just a white cassette shell. I've got Guardians of the Galaxy Awesome Mix Volume 1 and 2. Kind of no explanation needed with those, I don't think. So it sells the price stickers, the Beatles Magical Mystery Tour. Again, half-price books sell these for 50 cents a piece. Men at Work, business as usual. The Best of the Doors. Can't go wrong. This was probably one of the first 20 or so cassettes I bought. It's Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness by Smashing Pumpkins. I don't know. Even at the time, this was kind of a more pricey cassette to get, but that was just 50 cents. A couple more REM here. We've got Dead Letter Office, not my favorite of theirs. Fables of the Reconstruction, and Life's Rich Pageant, which actually, of those three, I think is my favorite. Another U2, Unforgettable Fire, classic album. Oingo Boingo, Dead Man's Party. I got this one at Goodwill. Again, it was like 25, 50 cents, something. Good Halloween record. This one was my mom's also, Duran Duran, Rio. I got this one fairly recently. It's Let's Dance by David Bowie. The A-side is kind of flawless in my opinion for a Bowie pop album. The Doors, Waiting for the Sun. Kind of similar cover to that one actually is Echo and the Bunnymen, the Song Solar and Sing. It's a compilation of not like greatest hits, but just kind of their work up to that point. I'll just go ahead and compare these two. I didn't really notice that before now, but same kind of idea with the band photo there. I got this 10,000 Maniacs MTV Unplugged. I liked the MTV Unplugged series while that was still going. Prince of the Revolution, Purple Rain, no explanation needed there. In Excess, Kick, Rush, Moving Pictures, which for some reason I can't find a nice clean copy on LP for a good deal. Another Dylan here, another side of Bob Dylan. The Breeders, Last Splash, who I think was Kim Deal from the Pixies. The Beastie Boys, License to Ill. They Might Be Giants, Apollo 18. The Pretty in Pink soundtrack, just a great 80s compilation. Songs from the Big Chair, I've got this on cassette, CD, and LP just because I love that album. No shame. The name of this band is Talking Heads. It's like a double live album. And here the censored cover version of Jane's Addiction, Ritual de lo Habitual there. I don't know why I couldn't say that. Yeah, I managed to breeze through that pretty quickly, actually. Still, you know, every time I go anywhere, they have a cassette selection. I always look at them. They usually have some pretty decent stuff. It's not just like, I mean, most of the Goodwills around here are just kind of, same as the records, just like Christmas music, gospel music, but not like the good kind of gospel music. I mean, just like, you know, Mormon Tabernacle Choir, that kind of thing. Country, but again, not the good kind of country, just kind of like, well, I don't want to offend anybody. I'm not the biggest country fan. I know some of you guys really love country, but it just doesn't really always appeal to me, especially some of the more pop-oriented stuff coming out of like the 60s and 70s and 80s for that matter. Yeah, that's it. Enter my contest if you want. I would really be cool. I've loved all the entries so far. I appreciate all the support I get from the VC, you know, subscribers, comments, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Really is appreciated. I hope you guys have a good week, and remember, December 7th is the last day for contest entries, so get those in. Thanks, guys.